Criminogenics is not just good for therapy, it's even better for diversion programs like drug court. Hey, what's going on everybody? This is David Brooks, the Cadillac Counselor, coming at you to talk to you about what's on my mind. And today we are going to talk about problem-solving courts, especially drug courts. A lot of people just wonder, how do you use criminogenic factors and criminogenic therapies and criminogenic mindsets to solve some of the issues that go on in problem-solving courts? A couple of years ago, I was invited to the state of Maryland's symposium for problem-solving courts, just to talk about criminogenics. What does it look like? Where did it start off? And how do we solve it? Now, a lot of people want to say, we need to focus on substance abuse, or we need to work on mental health. But do we? Because if we focus on all of those things first, sometimes that person is in jail or dead before we get a chance to get to them. Now, I got a chance to hang out with the new Baltimore County Drug Court today. The questions that were asked were, how can you solve this problem? How can you help us? Will it really work? What are the outcome measures? There was tons. I'm going to tell you how I answer those questions. A lot of times people think that working with problem-solving courts that it has to be all punitive. I will say this, punitive will work as long as there is a clinical understanding of what that punishment is for. Whenever you start to create sanctions and you start to look at some of the punishments you give, a lot of times you have to make sure that they are based on criminogenic factors. Is the person lying, or is this a moral issue, or are they doing things that are going to be non-productive to their life? A lot of times we have to look at the unrealistic expectation, the greed, the hedonism, all of the things that keep people involved in the lifestyle of drugs and alcohol. Sometimes it's not just using of the drugs, it's selling of the drugs, hanging out with people that use drugs. Sometimes it's just people pleasing, the way we dress, the way we purchase items, because we have to be part of that lifestyle. So this is what I would tell you as I told them. Always focus your punishment on real issues. What's really going on? If they have a substance abuse problem, we know that they might relapse. But you shouldn't be as focused on the relapse as the behavior. Did they come and tell you the truth? Were they upfront about what happened? Don't focus on symptoms. Always focus on problems. A lot of times people think that symptoms are problems, but they're not. Baltimore County has a lot of issues with a whole lot of just politics. I have watched politics literally take a program and run it into the ground. I was part of the Veterans Court here in Frederick. Do we have that? No, not anymore. Why? Because it got political. And I'm going to tell you this, the only way that Baltimore County is going to truly make a dent in this problem is if they push aside politics and do what is necessary for their participants. Now, is everybody going to be part of the drug court? Probably not. A lot of violent crimes. There are things that will disqualify you. But people that have drug problems and people that have addictions to the lifestyle may be eligible. Make sure that you contact your public defender's office, your state's attorney, and just ask, how can you get involved with drug court? People, we have to make sure that we stay focused. We can always reduce recidivism by focusing on the real things. Are you going to need a group or a therapy to look at criminogenic factors? Yes. Why? You want to know that they understand a lot of the things that you would think are common sense, like telling lies, not really giving all of the story, not being accountable for things that they do. And if you let them off the hook, what you're doing is you're enabling. That's the first thing for drug courts. Don't enable. And if you say you're going to do something, do it. Do not let them off the hook just because you feel sorry for them. If you do that, you're going to create a mindset that they can do just enough to get by. You want them to be pushed because what you're pushing for is a new life. You don't want to hold on to that leash tight until the day they get off of drug court. Why? Because then they just fall. Because they're so used to someone being in their life, being part of every decision they make. Start letting them off about halfway. Let them start making decisions so you could see if they really need more help. Another thing, if somebody gets in drug court and they never get in trouble or they never break the law or they never relapse, that person should have never been in this type of diversion plan. They could have just done a nice diversion of probation. There's something else to it. If that person has not caused any issues, you might want to relook at, is that person ready for your drug court? Because if they don't have any problems, they most likely should not have broken that law. I will tell you that Baltimore County has a lot of innovative ideas. Do I like them? Yes. Why? Because they're open to ideas. A lot of drug courts aren't open to ideas. Don't know why, but we can't do the old things. What was good in the 80s, what was good in the 90s when there was a lot of crack and cocaine, now it's opiates. We're seeing alcohol come back into the picture. We have to move and be fluid with the issues going on in today's society. Never get to the point where you think you know too much. It's David Brooks telling you that the courts of Maryland that I see, especially in the problem solving, are definitely approved. They do what they're supposed to do, but I think they can take it to the next level. And that's implementing criminogenics throughout their program and make sure that they create a place for them to work on their maladaptive behaviors. It's David Brooks, the Cadillac Counselor. Take it easy. Bye.